What's going on, everybody? What's up? Thank you for joining us at the Multiverse Podcast. As we do every week, you already know we will be discussing some House of the Dragon, tapping into all the darkness and the bliss. But we also this week will be talking about one of my favorite movies, and it hasn't even come out yet, and that is Black Panther Wakanda Forever. So we definitely will be tapping into that new trailer that just dropped. Also, we have to talk about our guy, your guy, everybody's guy, Kanye West. Are you all right, Kanye? We're gonna find out. But first things first, guys, welcome to the multiverse. We are a go. I hate that the 6
What do you know about the multiverse?
Oh, Kanye. We'll get to you, Kanye. Don't worry. We'll get to you.
Dracarys.
All right. Calm down, buddy. Calm down. Welcome, everybody, to the Multiverse. I'm your host, Bad Ty Bricks, here with my family, my friends, Tyrone Thornhill, Holly Noon. What's up, guys? Another week, week of magic and conversation. Real quick, I would love to know what happened with you guys this weekend. Any positive things? I know we just dealt with a storm. So Holly, I'm glad to see you here safe and sound.
Yeah.
One of us, as you guys can see, one of our hosts are missing today. That's Mini Baby Grogu.
Mm-hmm.
He unfortunately had the worst probably of the storm and is still trying to get himself above water, literally and figuratively. But we are definitely have him in our thoughts and our minds, and we hope that everything works out on that end. But Holly, you were in Florida and you dealt with some of this stuff. So how are you doing now?
Good. So just really in Jacksonville, it's rainy and windy. So, we have a lot of big trees around here, oak trees, maple trees. So there's a lot of debris. But I think there wasn't as many, power outages and flooding. But you can still see, like, for people who live like with like intercoastal to their backyard, like the water level is still pretty high. So you're like, okay, any higher would have started flooding. So I would say Jacksonville pretty fortunate compared to like Orlando and stuff. Fort Myers. Yeah.
I'm glad to hear that. I really am. We definitely were worried about you guys. Tyrone, you were probably the least affected. Thankfully.
Yeah, I mean the worst I've gotten is just we got it's been raining for the last like 4 days here. It's been the weather's been kind of shitty, but it's also turned cold, which I'm a fan of. So summer is over, which is nice. Was done with that heat. So we are good there. What happened? I got to hang out with Vince Taylor from the New Blurred Order last night. He's in New York for New York Comic-Con. And we got to hang out and just chill in Brooklyn and stuff. So that was fun. And now we're here talking some Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon, and chilling with the homies.
Hey man, that's always a good thing. Well, Minnie couldn't make it this week, but we are very, very excited because we have a special guest who has been here once before, or a couple times before actually. And we are more than excited to have her back because every time she brings the flavor. So without further ado, let's give a big round of applause for our special guest, Miss Nolly. What's going on, Nolly? Great to have you as always. And I know you are excited as I am to talk some House of the Dragon. So I'm not gonna keep everybody in the comment section waiting. And just real quick, I'm good. Also, I didn't have nearly the effects that many had, but we're good. We're above water. We got power. Everything is cool. So thanks for everybody checking on us and making sure we're all right. So but things are back to normal. We're back in another week. We had another episode this week of House of the Dragon, episode 7, Driftmark.
Mm.
Nolly, if you could give us kind of a little bit of a breakdown of the episode itself.
Well, we couldn't see nothing because it was dark. But basically this episode takes us from Lena's funeral and its aftermath. We have a newly single again, Damon. We have all of the children in one spot again, like we did the last episode, but the vibes are different. Last episode they were getting along. This episode, not so much. We've got kind of a further division in the rift between the greens and the blacks. And it's just, there was drama. Dimly lit drama, but we had drama.
Dimly lit drama. You have a point there, and I think we can go ahead and address it at the very beginning of the show. This show was apparently much darker than the other episodes that we've encountered on this show thus far. I think last week or the week before, I made a comment about the darkness of the show and how there's really a lack thereof of color outside of green and red, mostly kind of adorned in the episodes. But this one was just annoying. I did everything. No, I did. I turned up the brightness to 100. I did everything I could, and it was still playing dark. Which kind of bothered me. Here's a scene. If you haven't seen the show as of yet, let me go ahead and alert you. There will be spoilers. And hopefully you'll still stick around despite that. But here we are. This is a scene in the show. No, I did not doctor the picture. No, I did not do anything to this. This is an actual shot of what it looked like on television. This was, I don't know about you guys, but I don't like to squint my eyes when I watch. I don't like to have to be like this on the screen to see what's going on. And that whole scene kind of was extremely dark. Now, I have some backstory with that, right? So I understand that they filmed it this way because this was filmed in the day, but they do something where they film in the day, but they create this night effect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And sometimes I guess, depending on who's doing the production, you might have these problems, because we actually saw this same thing done in a recent movie,
Nope.
Jordan Peele's Nope, and it was done flawlessly.
To great effect.
Yes, it was done flawlessly, and it did, we had a different outcome. But this right here, guys, was it was hard to get into the scene. It was hard to really understand why HBO, with the budget and with the type of production they usually have on their shows, would allow something like this to happen. But this, I think speaks to a lot of the things that we've already had a problem with. Outside of the darkness, since we're on that picture itself, let's talk about the scene itself. Let's talk about what happened in this moment. Holly, I don't know if you were able to catch this scene in particular, but if so, could you kind of give us a little bit of a backstory as far as what was happening in this scene?
I don't know. I couldn't really see, so I think I kind of tuned it out.
Okay.
Just to be honest.
No,
I got you. I got you.
Okay.
You. It's two ghosts who met up on the beach, and they're just talking back and forth to each other. Not really. It was the scene happened. It was after the funeral arrangements and stuff were taken care of. These two Rhaenyra and Damon end up taking a little walk on the beach, in which she kind of expresses, "Hey, I'm pissed off at you because you left me. You were what I wanted." And he was like, "But you were a child," which is weird. But I guess he's starting to feel bad about that kind of thing. Maybe that part of his life is over. Who knows? But she was like, "Well, I'm not a child anymore." And then boom, back to what the show is all about.
Yeah, incest.
As long as she's not a child, it's okay, apparently.
Well, I mean, I feel like we watched the whole series on Game of Thrones about a brother and a sister, grown ups having sex, and yeah.
Yeah,
So
Lay at least threw some other families in there who weren't doing it all the
yeah,
time.
yeah. I mean, yeah. I don't think we've addressed that yet. But but I'm sure it's coming. There's a lot to talk about in this episode. As you kind of alluded to, Nolly, with the start of this episode, kind of starting with the funeral of Lena Valeria. There were some key moments in that scene of the funeral, and I thought one thing that stood out was Vaymond giving like the last rites or whatever you want to, I kind of gathered that was like last rites, and what I'm saying, like the send off, to what turned out to be the Merlin King. So is that what, when, because one of the things that I've noticed in this series is they don't speak much about gods. That, like, they do touch on them briefly, but they never speak much on it. So, like, as far as we know, there's no religion in Westeros. Like, nobody. I haven't seen a priest. I haven't seen anything going on that would lead me to believe there's any religion going on in Westeros. But the Merlin King, Nolly, could you give me any backstory on the Merlin King and how he kind of is associated with the Valerians?
I believe he's Corliss's brother.
The Merlin King?
Like, I think I don't recall. I absolutely tuned out a lot of this episode because some scenes made me uncomfortable. We'll talk about it. But I completely missed that part.
Okay. All right. Well, in that case, the Merlin King is supposed to be like a god, which I would assume, if we were in comparison, we would probably compare him to the Greek god of water, which would be Zeus's brother. Yeah, wow, you guys would leave me hanging.
Poseidon.
Poseidon. Thank you, Tyrone.
Yeah.
You just had to have me on. Yeah. So Poseidon. Yeah. So I would compare the Merlin King to Poseidon. Is that a fair assessment, Tyrone? Probably.
It sounds like it. Based on the way they were talking, in the funeral ceremony and stuff like that. It sounds like that's what we should take from that.
That he's the god of the sea or something like that. And
one of their gods, one of their 7, I think they have.
Yes. Now when they dumped Lena's body into the water, what we noticed was there was a lot of sarcophaguses there. Like, like it seems as though that's the resting place, the graveyard for most of the Valerian family. But it kind of was that moment where Vaymond is like staring like a hole through Rhaenyra and her children, and speaking about the lineage and how the blood and it can't, and we can't let it get thinned out, and we true Valerian blood that shines through. Like, he looked at, and I don't know, guys, he looked at Daemon's kids first when he said, and it shines through, our blood is strong. Like, you could tell when we got our blood up in there. And then he looked at Rhaenyra and was like, now as for you and them kids, we know them ain't no Valerians. And I thought it was very telling that Vaymond in that moment was that bold to do it, because he didn't shy. It wasn't like he shied away. Everybody could see apparently that he was directing his energy towards Rhaenyra, and in that moment we get a little chuckle from Daemon, who in that moment you would think, since his wife died and we're pushing your wife off into the abyss, that you would feel differently, but he had a sense of humor in that moment. Does anybody here know why he chuckled? Have any theories on why he chuckled? I'd love to hear him.
In that moment, I was just like, he just likes drama. Like, he just likes this shit. He's having a good time. That's what I got from it. And he never really seemed particularly sad that Lena died anyway. So, he just kind of chilling.
Nah, he's definitely not. He definitely, like, seems as though it was like, okay.
Another day,
back to the drawing board. Which one of my cousins are nieces will I have next? You know what I mean? That's kind of where we're at. But as the scene, as we continue on in the story, we see that one person who is distraught in the most grievous way is her brother, Lenore, who feels some level of
Responsibility.
responsibility
Yeah.
for not being there for his sister, and looks just to be in a major way, in a level of despair. Now, when his father saw that he was, kind of standing out there in the water, which I didn't see anything wrong with, but clearly in the Valerian household, you're not allowed to show emotion outwardly in in public, and Corliss became extremely upset. Um, is this is this something that we deal with today in our society, as far as like men not being it being deemed weak, or something for a man to show his emotions? Is this something we're dealing with a lot today, Holly?
Um, I think it's a topic of conversation. I think about, I mean, around mental health and just people being able to talk about their feelings, express their emotions. So I
Mhm.
would say, not that people can't express, I think it's becoming more acceptable for men to express how they feel without getting backlash. But yeah, there was a time where if men did express their feelings, considered weak and, not representative of like, being a man if you were to express, emotion for something being sad.
Now, Holly, you said something really key there. You said that it's becoming more accepted for men to show their. Now, this instance is where a father is directly kind of responding to the behavior of a son. And even though society, I think, is becoming, way more accepting of a lot of things, um, what about in the households though? Because a lot of times we still see fathers kind of like, I can definitely say myself one of them, where you kind of push on this masculinity onto your son. You kind of like want them not to be crying all the time. You don't want them to be doing things that maybe I, as a man, deem weak, or deem, a certain way. And I just thought that in that scene, the level of passion in which he grabbed Sir Carl, go, go, go retrieve your patron. I mean, like, like he stepped out of himself just because he was down there. Like, this man's sister just died, your daughter just died, but yet he's not allowed to express his emotion. I thought that was something that the directors wanted to address and wanted to kind of focus on, because this is something that we still deal with in a society today. Tyrone, do you also think that may be why that scene was so important?
Yeah, I would think that that the directors had, would take that time to make that moment, make that case and stuff. I think that I appreciate what you got out of it, because they didn't give you much, but I think you made a good you took some ingredients that were all right and made a good meal out of it, and I appreciate that. Because yeah, it's very true, and it does shine a light on, this idea of not only just the false idea of what masculinity is, but like also the idea of generational trauma and probably homophobia, also wrapped up into that. I'm sure that it doesn't take too many dots to connect to make the connection between his homophobia and then the way he deals with emotion and the way he sees emotion, especially from a male point of view. So yeah, that stuff is definitely there, and when you mix it into those moments, it can definitely add weight to that situation.
There was something else that went on in this episode, and Nolly actually brought it to my attention, and I'm glad she did. One of the individuals that we have not really talked about at all throughout this series, is young Helena Targaryen. who we caught up with her I think in 2 episodes back. And she was dealing with the centipede, she's always playing with these insects, by the way. But she was playing with the centipede and talking to her mother. And one of the things that we noticed in that scene was that although Alicent was donning the color green, um Helena was still donned in a reddish tint color, still kind of maybe signifying that she was kind of loyal to the Targaryen household. But in this episode, we do notice immediately that she is donned in all green, and that kind of follows her throughout the episode, more or less. But we come to a scene where she has a spider, and she's playing with the spider, and like almost sounds like she's chanting a spell of some sort. Uh, but Nolly, you have a little bit of thoughts on what she was actually doing and maybe what her role is. Could you share that with the class, please?
So it's not canon, but it's implied that she is a dragon dreamer in the show, which is a Targaryen who sees prophecies and they don't know when they'll happen, but they know that they'll come true. So just like in the previous episode, when Alicent tells Aegon, "You'll get a dragon," Helena says in the corner in the background, almost to herself, "But he'll lose an eye."
They'll have to close an eye.
Yep. Yeah. And what happens this episode? He gets Vhagar, but he loses an eye. So in this episode, she is chanting, "Hand turns loom, spool of green, spool of black, dragons of flesh, weaving dragons of thread," which, if you think about it, turning a loom is like you're making something, you're weaving something together. And so she says, "Hand turns loom." This is a pivotal part in which things start to shift the tide towards the upcoming rising tensions. So like we notice Otto Hightower is back as the Hand. Could he be the Hand that she's referring to? We don't know. We'll have to figure out next episode. But it was just a very spool of green, spool of black, obviously the Targaryens and the Hightowers. And so I'm curious to see what they're going to do with her as a dragon dreamer.
Yeah. I when you told me that, it absolutely blew my mind. I was like, I have been totally ignoring Helena the entire series,
just like her brothers.
Yeah, like she they
and look what happened. He lost an eye.
Yeah, exactly. And see, this is why you get paid the big bucks, because you see those type of things.
I wish I could see the check.
But yeah, I know, right? It's in the mail. It's in the mail. But nah, that was like really telling, because that whole scene, I was like, kind of like, is she a witch? Like, I mean, we know that in Game of Thrones there was an individual, what her name?
Red woman.
Yeah, the
Missandra
or Missandria or something like that. Yeah, so we know that she existed. But that's one of those things that I was kind of wondering, is there really magic? Does magic really exist in King's Landing? Does it exist in Westeros? Because
definitely,
yeah,
in Game of Thrones we saw things, we saw some stuff, and then we saw the Night King and all of this other, like these are beings that were created. So I'm like, ooh, are we about to get some real magic going on? Are we about to really, because there's definitely some stuff that we're gonna get from Helena, and I'm sure you don't want to spoil anything, but I did a little research, so I know that Helena plays a pretty good role, pivotal part in the storyline. One of the things also that we saw in this episode was we saw 5 dragons in Driftmark. Now, this is the thing, right? I was watching this earlier because I had to go back and watch the scene. None of those dragons that were up on Driftmark were Vhagar. None of them. None of them were big enough to be Vhagar. Like, this episode really let us see how massive Vhagar really is. is. Like you, I don't think you really grasped it in the last episode. Like it was like, yeah, he's big. But in this episode, they made it. The directors, the cameramen, everybody did a great job of showing how massive this one dragon is. And when I looked up there on Driftmark and I saw these 5 dragons, I could probably name 4 of them for sure. I don't know which one the one that was flying is. I don't know if that was Malays or whatever, Malays or whatever, however you pronounce that, or if it was Sea Smoke. Because I know that Caraxes, I saw Caraxes fly over the thing. He's skinny, you can definitely tell his body. I saw the gold dragon, which is Cyrax. I saw the other gold dragon, which is Aegon's dragon, which is what is it called? I know Helena's dragon is called Dreamfire. Dreamfire, Caraxes, Cyrax is Rhaenyra's, and then Aegon's, whatever his dragon is called. I think it's
Sunfire.
Is it Sunfire?
Yeah.
Sunfire. Okay.
I think Dreamfire is the coolest name.
It is. Sunfire is actually the dragon incorporated into the Targaryen symbol.
Okay.
Very interesting.
Okay. Some news there.
A little trivia for you.
Now, I also did some more research, and I found out that Dreamfire, in episode 3, the egg that Daemon stole, or episode 2, the egg that Daemon stole was Dreamfire's egg, that black egg that was retrieved by Rhaenyra. And I also found out, and this one's going to get you guys, Dreamfire is also the mother of the 3 eggs that Daenerys found in Game of Thrones. So there you go. There you go. Little cool history lesson there. But I think at this point that meeting of Aemond and this connection that Aemond has with Vhagar was kind of telling, because we went last episode where Aemond doesn't have a dragon, was joked by the boys. They gave him a pig. He runs up on Dreamfire, gets scared, and everything like that. And then you have Vhagar. Now, Vhagar was Laena's dragon, which you would assume would pass in line, right? You would assume that Baela or Rhaela would have been the next in line to get the dragon. Why do you guys think that Baela and Rhaela never at any point in time during this episode went and maybe kind of tried to soothe Vhagar or anything? Because this is a dragon in which they grew up with, but yet when their mom dies, none of them go to the dragon and kind of soothe the dragon, although everybody there knows that the dragon is hurting. Why do anybody, and that question is posed to anybody who wants to take it?
I mean, I feel like it was just that they're mourning their mother. Like they literally that very day buried their mom, and then he again Aemon snuck around on some you snooze you lose type shit and basically stole the dragon. Like kind of, it's, I would say you give it a little while. You know what I mean? These kids just lost their mother. Let them mourn a little bit before they start choosing dragons.
Yeah, that's how I took it. They were just busy crying because they missed their mom, and their dad is not very supportive.
Yeah,
and
that
so
dude sucks.
Yeah, it's not like he was giving any direction, like, hey, So that's how I took it. They were just too busy missing their mom.
Well, they snooze, you lose in Westeros. And that's exactly what happened. Aemon approached Vhagar, and I just thought that scene was just really, 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 really good and shot really well. Just to watch him, how high he had to climb to actually just get on to Vhagar. And then, the flight scene, that was like, I thought that was really cool because, it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy to ride Vhagar. I mean, you could have very easily died in that moment trying to fly this dragon. And I don't think he would have saved you if you fell off. So I really enjoyed that whole scene of him flying Vagar and kind of them, uniting in that moment. But what we kind of saw from that was Aemon's whole behavior change, right? I was kind of liking Aemon prior to this scene. I actually was liking him. I thought he was smart. I thought he was compassionate. You know what I'm saying? He didn't seem as though he was like throne thirsty in the last episode. And then once he got on Vagar, it was just his whole demeanor change. He comes back in, he's talking junk to his cousins, and Nolly, that scene where they're now fighting over Vagar. There was a lot that was kind of disclosed in that scene, but it was like the writers, the whole episode is basically showing you that everybody around kind of already knows. There's no secret at this point. There's no secret. The only people that are oblivious to this is the youngest of the Strongs, and we're gonna just call them what they call it. We're gonna call the young Strong. He's the only one that didn't know that your father isn't who you think it is. You know what I'm saying? When the knife came out and the rock was picked up, I thought somebody was gonna die right there. I was really in this mode where who's about to die? Somebody's about to die. Yeah, it's about to die. But this is different from the way the book tells it, right? This whole way that this kind of lined up is not exactly how it happened in the book, is it, Nolly?
It's not like 100%. It's more so like the gist of it. This whole episode was the gist of it, basically, because they changed a couple of things from the book. But it essentially happened, yes, because they got into a little round of fisticuffs, and he was talking smack, referred to them as the Strongs, and the knife gets pulled out. I felt like I was back in Brooklyn for a second. I got nervous, but
Did he do those girls dirty like that in the book? Did he steal their dragon like that?
He did steal the dragon like that in the book. He entered his villain era real early.
Yeah, like I never liked Aemon. I had pity for him in the last
pity
episode.
For him.
Yeah, because he was getting bullied and shit. But then this is one of those bullying creates more bullies situations. Yeah. So that's what I'm seeing now. Is just he's like, oh well, now I have the bigger stick, so now I'm the bully.
Yeah, well, sometimes when you are the bully, you might get the short end of the stick, and in this case, he got the short end of a blade that took his eye. And I'm gonna tell you, his mother was not happy in the least, to say the least. One of the things that I saw in that whole scene, when they kind of after the aftermath of everything that kind of happened, was that everybody's parents came to their aid except Rayla and Bayla. Did you guys notice that? That although he was in the room the entire time, he did not move from the corner. Your daughters were assaulted. They're in here crying. They're scared. You're their father, but you feel the need to just be a voyeur in this moment and sit back and just watch as things unfold. And that, I've been a Damon fan, a fan from the jump. I every week I'm like Damon. But in this moment, arms folded, watching all of this go down, I was like, Damon, what's going on, bro? I need you to step up. And Damon did it. If anything, this man came to the aid of his illegitimate grandchildren. And I thought that was very telling because I skipped past the scene and we're not always going to talk about everything that happens in the episodes that would kind of deter people from watching it. We want you to watch it. But Corlys Corliss has been very, very staunch about his stance on his grandchildren or so-called grandchildren. Um, we had a whole scene and ordeal where him and his wife just feels like, look, we know they're not our grandchildren. Just let's accept the grandchildren that we actually have, and let's just move on. And Corliss wasn't trying to hear that. And he made a statement that I totally agree with. He said people don't remember blood; they remember names. And that was a very powerful statement because Game of Thrones proved that to the T. It was never about blood, it was about the name of that was associated with you, that kind of garnered your power or your prestige or your whatever it was. And this is why Corliss was so thing when he was talking to Viserys a couple of episodes ago about whose name his heir would carry on. Would it be Valerian or would it be Targaryen? And in that moment we didn't realize how serious this would be, but this episode kind of just doubled down on that whole theory that, look, it's all about names in here. Like, you could look like whatever you want to look like, but if your last name is this is what you're going with, this is who you're representing, things like that. So I thought that was very telling in that moment. But and we'll kind of wrap it up. After everything kind of transpired in that throne room, what we finally found, guys, is who the team ups are. Who the allegiances are, like how it stacks up moving forward, right? In the end of the scene, we see Daemon, Corliss, Rhaena and Rhaenyra all kind of just loomed, grouped together. And then on the opposite side, we see Alicent, Otto, we see Sir Kristen, Cole, and anybody else that we want to throw in that loop?
Laris
Strong, absolutely. Laris Strong. How could we forget about him? And he's a scary one, man. Like I don't know, but Laris is giving me real kind of like, he would have been a real good Hannibal Lecter. He'd have been the great guy. It was probably still time, but he would,
he'll be playing a serial killer on Netflix really soon.
Absolutely,
like, without a doubt. Yeah, he's gonna do that.
He gives that guy at the bar that you can't shake off vibes.
Oh my!
Like, thank you for the drink. No, don't walk me to my car or the subway or the cab that I'm walking. Don't stop.
He's
Just
like, can I buy you a Zima?
Can I buy you a Zima? Yeah, because that, when he was talking to Alicent and she was like, and discretion. And then he was like, of course, Your Majesty. And then stood right next to her. I was like, dude, awkward. Do you not know boundaries here? Like, dude, walk away. And he doesn't. And that's scary, man. And he's always talking about what he can do. And I'm just like, how does Laris have this power? Like, how does he have this power to be able to maneuver and make? He told her that he could get the eye of the prince if she wanted to. How does Laris have this maneuverability within Westeros?
Because
Nolly?
He's overlooked. He's a clubfoot. He's like a social parasite. Like, nobody pays attention to him. So he's always been in the shadows. He listens to everybody. So he could easily go up to someone and be like, hey, do this for me. And they'll be like, no. And he'll be like, well, I heard or I know. And then it's like, oh shit, I'm indebted. Like when in the last episode, when he cut the tongues off the prisoners, he made the deal with them, but he cut their tongues off so that they couldn't repeat what he asked them to do. He has ways. He's
wow,
a little cockroach.
Wow, I didn't even know why he did that, and now that you just broke like that, it makes total sense. I didn't know why he did that. Honestly, I just thought he was just that guy, that crazy of a guy. But
that's how you make sure somebody keeps your secret.
Yeah, you make sure they have no way of telling it. But I think you probably would have wanted to cut off their hands too.
I was gonna say they could write a note.
Yeah, I'm about to say, but
maybe they can't.
Laris isn't even that smart.
So we don't know.
who can think of everything? You know what I mean? So yeah, Laris, and without telling us everything, Nolly, Laris is a key player. Is he a key player in all of this?
Yes. He gets very entangled in the whole Civil War part of everything. The
Wow.
end.
Wow. Um, Last but not least, before we go into talking some Black Panther 2 news, I wanted to just kind of get everybody's predictions for what's going to happen on next week's episode. I can already tell you, we know that we're going to be dealing with another time jump. So I just would like to hear what you guys, with expectations, any thoughts of what's going to happen. What do we got to look forward to in next week's episode?
Next week's episode, everybody's going to college. That's what I'm saying.
I think the king is finally gonna like die.
Okay.
Which one of those kids is Aegon and which is Aemon? Just
Well,
kidding.
Yeah, that is crazy how Aegon shrunk, somehow shrunk, or just stopped growing at the last time we saw him. But whatever.
Yeah.
We won't talk about that. But any other predictions or anything that you would like to see in the next?
Do you think? I think we might see a Rhaenyra Daemon baby.
Okay.
Maybe it'll have a tail.
Maybe. Nolly, any predictions?
Definitely, I agree. I think this is the episode that we're gonna lose Viserys because dude was missing a whole arm this episode. Like, how much further can he fall apart?
Yeah,
because when they did the whole big trailer for the whole series, at one point he's got like his crown up, he's also got like half a mask on, and it's like, my guy, you are literally being held together by whatever herbs the maesters are bringing you. Like, the glue is not enough anymore.
He's gonna be a head in a jar, and they're just gonna put the crown right on the jar, and that's gonna be the king.
That's gonna be the king.
Yeah, because especially then, because we also have in the trailer, Otto Hightower was like, "I speak for the king now," and I was like, "Calm down, relax."
Yeah, and then he revealed that he had his head like a puppet, and he was like, "I'm the king, and I think Otto Hightower is the best." Like that. That's gonna be the next episode.
Oh my god!
Speaking of Otto Hightower, for real though, like nobody else wanted to like put in a resume and try to be the hand of the king. He had to go all the way back and get Otto Hightower, who couldn't be trusted, and he got fired. Like, I was like, damn,
bringing y'all in with It's Plenty by Burna Boy, because
the way that Viserys goes hard for Rhaenyra, I would have thought that it would have been smarter to make her hand of the king in order to make sure that there was a segue for her to rule, because he's got all of this pushback and he's dealing with, we basically figured out last episode that no one can trust, that he can't trust anyone around him. Yeah. So you would have thought he would have pulled her closer and made sure that she was a shoo-in for when he eventually does die. But no, here we are.
Nolly should have been the king the whole time.
I'm just saying, I think I would do good. I would lower taxes. I would make a housing program.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have to sleep with your sister if you didn't want to, but if you want to, I'm not gonna stop you.
Oh. All right. There was a lot that we didn't talk about, but again, House of Dragon is currently available for your viewing pleasure on HBO Max. So go check it out. Now, to bigger and better news. Guys, we're almost there, man. We got just a little, probably a month,
about 5 weeks.
We're about a month away from what I'm already calling my favorite movie of the year, and I haven't even seen it. Black Panther Wakanda Forever is dropping next month, guys, and they just dropped a new trailer, and we here at the Multiverse are definitely about to review this trailer because I've been hearing a lot. I have not watched it. I just want to let you guys know I'm giving you a genuine reaction. So let's tap in. Let's get into this video and see what we think. Let's see here. All right. And action.
Only the most broken people can be great leaders.
His people did not call him general or king. They called him Kukul Khan, the feather serpent god. Killing him will risk eternal war.
He's coming for the surface world.
We know what you whisper. They have lost the protector. Now is our time to strike. Show them who we are.
Yep. National holiday.
Period.
If you couldn't tell by the smile on my face, I'm super excited. I just saw Riri Williams in the Iron Man suit. There's a lot going on. I mean, you get to see Namor flying, and oh man, this is Namor. Oh man, this is wow. I'm excited, man. Anything stood out to you guys in that trailer that you were excited for? I mean, other than the movie itself.
One thing I think is a huge, just a huge one up on just Namor, and just kind of like making this is like such a great transition from comic to real life, is like they added that like true existing culture instead of just making it kind of like this vague Atlantean kind of thing. Like, you know, actually connecting it to existing culture and adding like another layer of representation there is awesome. I think that was such a smart and such a great move by Coogler or the writers or whoever made that move. Perfect.
Anybody else? What's happening? Anything?
No, I'm excited, and I went and like pre-ordered my ticket like right after
Yeah.
I saw it. So I'm ready to watch it.
Oh, Nolly.
I had to change my flight because I don't want to fly when it opens. I want to make sure I'm there because I'm supposed to go to New York that weekend, and I was like, I could fly out Saturday. It's fine. I don't have to go Friday. I'm hyped. Like, there are so many little tidbits that you could pick on in there. They put so much, and if you compare it to the original teaser trailer, there are a lot of similar scenes, but they actually made edits. So things look different, and it's like, what's going on? What's going on? I was so hyped. And also, that Black Panther suit, it had boobies. So I got theories.
Yeah.
I kind of don't want it to be Shuri, but I got theories.
You don't want it to be Shuri?
No, I don't like her actress. Otherwise, I'd be okay with it.
Oh no, not the Shuri hate.
Yeah, I'm gonna if it's Shuri, I'm going to appreciate Shuri. I'm gonna stay in the moment. I'm gonna be like, okay,
Yes.
I'm gonna look at the character.
Agreed.
But I feel like it would be, and I know that it's not. I don't know if Okoye has ever been Black Panther, but I feel like Okoye would be the perfect choice. You know what I mean? I feel like it would be so perfect if Okoye ended up being one of the Black Panthers we see in this movie, because I still think that we're going to see more than one.
We also saw Ironheart flying in her suit.
Yep. Yeah, that was
great.
That was awesome. They gave us a little tease of that.
Yes, they did. They did, and I'm excited. I'm super excited. I just think it has the potential because I already know that we are gonna show up. We are gonna show out for that movie. Now, if we don't show out for anything else, we show out for Black Panther. And this, I just feel like it's going to, the first part of that movie is just going to be everybody in the theater crying. I just feel like everybody in there is going to be
right.
You're going to hear a whole bunch of that. You're like, all right, let's watch the movie, guys. Like, but I really do definitely, I mean, it just seems like even from the trailers that we've been seeing that there is this an overpowering feeling that comes from when you see how they're walking with the Black Panther mask and tribute that they're paying in those instances, the facial expressions of Angela Bassett in those scenes. Like, I just think that is going to be enough. You know what I mean? Like, even if you don't see anything else, it's going to be enough.
Just as an actor, like to be in a situation where like you can attach your real mourning to this character's mourning in such a real way, like that's going to be some heartbreaking shit to watch.
I'm ready to cry.
I'm bringing a lot of tissues.
Yes.
So
a lot of tissues. And for those who go into the movie with me and bring tissues, please do not just be in there just blowing your nose loud while I'm trying to watch the movie. She's saying bring the tissues because you're going to need them, but that doesn't mean blow your nose in the movie theater. Just step out, because I don't want to ruin this. I really don't.
Sniffle it. Just
dab or wipe.
Yeah, I'm very particular. I'm very particular about movie. I really do not like people talking and going crazy in the movie. Like, it's cool.
No boohoo crying.
Yeah, not the boohoo crying. I don't need to hear all
the ugly
that.
cry
face.
face.
You got snot bubbles coming out. I don't need all that.
You don't want to see any aunties run into the screen, trying to throw themselves on the screen.
I don't want to see all of that. We don't want to ruin the movie and ruin the film for everybody. So, try to temper your emotions. I know it's going to be hard, but just try to temper your emotions. But that was my first time seeing that. I'm super excited after seeing it. I think it's an absolutely great trailer. And the second of two really good trailers. So I just hope that they have enough movie since they gave us all of these good juicy tidbits in the trailers, man, and everything like that.
They will. I'm sure they're holding some big stuff back.
Yeah.
The movie is going to be 2 hours and 41 minutes, so I think they'll
That's
have
what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Ooh, 2 hours. Why they didn't just go 3? Don't
I'm saying, like, you were right there. It's right there.
Right there. Yeah, exactly.
Like, we not complaining.
Marvel, we will wear diapers.
Exactly. I can hold it for 2 hours and 57 minutes. Okay.
Thank you. I'll get a small soda, not a large. I'm good. Like, I'm an adult.
That's it. Let us do some adulting, man. Well, speaking of adulting, some people aren't out here moving correctly. One person in particular is my friend, my brother, my other, Mr. Kanye West. Mr. West, address the court. Let's talk to Mr. West today. Guys, are you aware of what's going on with Mr. Kanye West?
Kanye West is the opposite of Black Panther.
Yeah. So most recently, Kanye does what Kanye does all the time, which is make the news and garner publicity. Kanye was showing a new line of clothing that he is pushing out on his line of clothes. And he decided that it would be appropriate to do a White Lives Matter sweatshirt, which says White Lives Matter on the back, and on the front dawns a picture of one Pope Pablo II. Tyrone, since I know you usually are up on things of this nature, what the I was about to curse. I'm sorry. At this moment.
Deservedly so.
Yeah, deservedly so. But what is on Kanye's mind? What is going on with Kanye?
This is Kanye West making a decision that he finds, or that he believes that there's more money for him in the racist white market than there is in any other market, and so therefore he's willing to do this. And yeah, that's how I see it. I think I can attach nothing else to it, but Kanye West is that much of a sellout.
Mhm.
Well, he is joined by Public Enemy #1.
Yeah, who already sold out.
amongst the Black community. This is a popular consensus that Miss Candace Owens does not like us. That is a popular consensus. I'm not saying it's true. I'm not saying that I also
I will. I'll say it's true.
Well, there you go. You heard it here first. She does not like us. Holly, when you saw this White Lives Matter shirt, and let me say this, let me just preface it by saying this. Here at the Multiverse, as you can see, we did preface the statement by saying Kanye is right. White lives do matter. All lives do matter. However, it is not okay to take away from one person's one not people, not persons, but one people's tribulations and ordeals that they go through to kind of profit in the way that he's doing, because I don't think there were any white people out there that were like, we need a shirt to champion our movement or anything like that. Holly, am I wrong? Were white people like, we need a White Lives Matter shirt too? Were they like screaming for that?
I'm sure probably white supremacists, but I think honestly, Kanye's a billionaire, and I think he just wants attention, and it gets him the attention he needs. And I'm sure his clothing line or wherever else he's about to push or come out is going to get the publicity it needs. That's what I've accepted when he does these kind of things, these stunts. Like kind of to Tyrone's point, like he's just selling out to
just to, right? I mean, because I mean, if you're a billionaire, do you really need? Are you at this point? He is a billionaire, like you alluded to. Mm-hmm. So does he need to do this? Like, do you need? Is this more of a need or just a desire to do?
When you're done, Holly, I got something for you.
No, go ahead, Tyrone. I'm done. I don't really care to talk about this.
Well, no. Here's what I'll take this direction. This is a great example of the problem with making money the most important thing in your life, because there's never going to be enough of it. So you have to keep doing stupider and stupider shit to try and find some kind of value that you'll never find in money. You'll never find it. And that's what happens to you. Like, this is, you can't, he's trying to buy the one thing that you can't buy: whiteness. You cannot buy whiteness.
Tyrone, I don't know if you know anything that's going, but why is Kanye's face why does his face look like? Was that part of the event to look like you got beat up? I mean, like, what's going on?
Oh,
is this just a chapstick thing, or are we talking about an actual fight? Because those lips look like they definitely are in need of some.
Well, he don't got no black friends, so he probably don't have no Carmex.
He stopped moisturizing.
Oh, Lord, Kanye. But it looks like he's gotten a fight. He's got a bruise on his cheek. His lip looks like it's mangled a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's just you know how, like, I got this theory that this is not a scientific theory, but I got this theory that when you're a shitty person inside, it starts to come out of you physically in ways that we can't, like, look at some people like Donald Trump and like Mitch McConnell, people like that. You're like, how do people even look like this? Like, you look like a cartoon villain, and that's what that is. I think that's my theory. When you're shitty inside, you can't help but show it on the outside.
Yeah, that's a good point. You can't buy whiteness, but you can sell your integrity, and he does it every single opportunity that he gets. And it's sad, man. It really is sad that someone who has the capability to move he's at a point now where he could actually facilitate change. He could actually do things to help facilitate change, and instead he's just adding to the fire. He's just fanning the flame, and I don't.
But you could take it from old Kanye. Kanye said, because they made us hate ourselves and love their wealth. That's why Shorty's Harlem where the ballers at. And young Kanye is talking about old Kanye. You know what I mean? That's what's happening right now. Like he fell victim to the same trap he saw before he had the money.
He definitely don't have the right people around him too, because remember, he also at one point, disclosed that he's bipolar, and apparently it's been years since he's been on any treatments or meds. And I'm not saying meds are for everyone, but they're for some people. Okay, some people. And if you have the money and the access to the healthcare, it's just, if no one's in your corner trying to encourage you to do better for yourself, and everyone's just going to watch you continue to spiral, because I'm pretty sure he's got mad people in his corner that benefit from all of the stunts and theatrics that he pulls. So it's like on one hand, you're watching someone publicly spiral into this barely a shadow of what they stood for at one point. And it's also a wealth thing, because like, look, now he's got his cult, Sunday worship, that whole thing is weird, but now he's got a school, and the kids are literally in a warehouse eating the weirdest lunches, claiming that it's, the best in education. So it's just like a whole lot of factors, and it's just it's uncomfortable to watch. Yeah, it's so uncomfortable to watch.
Yeah, I'm looking. He looks. This is crazy, but this is exactly what happened, ages ago, where they used to put us in these monkey suits and showcase us on there just for their entertainment. And I feel like you're doing the same thing, Kanye. You're the guy in the monkey suit dancing on stage for the entertainment of everyone else, and you don't have to be, because you own the theater that the stage is on. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, this doesn't make any sense to me.
There's no need to shuck and jive with the amount of pull and influence that this man has, and yet here we are, tap dancing the best tap dance.
It almost makes you wonder, is the reason that he has the pull and the leverage that he has is because he has associated himself and kind of aligned himself with the majority, as opposed to the alternative. And it's sad, man. But yeah, that's all I'm going to shed on Kanye. I'm not going to give him too much space on that, but I just thought it was just funny to see. As soon as I saw the shirt, I was like, really, dude, this was so unnecessary. But leave it to Kanye. And listen, I'm gonna take it a little step further. To all my Black friends, family, some of y'all love Kanye to the point where you buy his merchandise. Stop it. Stop funding this bullshit.
That man don't care about you.
Yeah, he don't care one. I mean, if it's not obvious now, it should be. So please stop funding this bullshit, because we don't need. What's next? What does he have to do next? What does he have to do next? I mean, for y'all to stop paying $600 for some ugly ass shoes or some shit, like some stuff that hasn't even been finished. Like, every time I see somebody walk around talking about they got some Yeezys on, I laugh, because I'm like, you just paid all of that money for that bullshit. But hey, each his own. I ain't gonna knock nobody, man. Do what you do, but just remember, it has long lasting effects if he continues to garner this level of power and support. But that wraps everything up, man, guys. I was gonna do must watch TV, but it's pretty much the same stuff that we've been telling you guys to watch. Nothing else has been coming out. I watched Interview with the Vampire, the first couple of episodes of that.
I forgot that was even a thing.
Continue to forget about it. Yeah, no, I'm good.
If you're not watching Atlanta, watch Atlanta. We talked about it before, but Atlanta is so damn good.
Atlanta is very good. Yeah, Atlanta. This last episode was pretty.
Man, if I wasn't already in therapy, this one would have sent me there.
Yeah, that last episode. Atlanta's. Woo! Atlanta's definitely a show that we should tap in one day because Atlanta has some really, really, really good storylines that are based in reality. So I think that's really telling. But anything on the way out, guys? Any upcoming things? Any events? Anything going on? You want to share?
Saturday, New Blurred Order, 10 a.m.
Yep.
We'll see if we get Vince. I think he's going to be at Comic-Con, so we'll see if he's going to try to fight the internet all day. Pop in at the cafeteria or something and say what's up, go to the bathroom or something. You know how Vince is. He'll try to get on the show any way he can. And then the next week, I'll be heading to the Plano Comedy Festival the day after the show. So the day after this show. So
all right.
What's going on?
All right. Well, in that case, I want to go ahead and send a special shout out to a pod called TBD, a financial griot. I want to also shout out. Okay, I had a brain fart. So whoever I was gonna shout out, just know we love you. whoever it was out there, we love you. Nolly, we want to thank you for coming through and doing what you do and doing it to the best of your ability. And we are very thankful to have you come on and do this as often as possible. Again, I want to give a special shout out to Minnie. Minnie, we miss you. We hope to have you back next week. And we hope everything works out on your end. And also to anybody that's still being affected by the storm in the Florida region, in the South Carolina and North Carolina region as well. Anybody who has been affected by the storm in any way, we send our love and our support your way and hope for a speedy recovery in whatever situation you're in.
Also, shout out to Puerto Rico, who's still recovering and trying to recover from 2 storms ago, and that situation. So shout out to Puerto Rico.
Absolutely. So anybody affected out there by any of these storms or any type of anything at this point, we want to send you love and support. So with that being said, I think that might wrap it up, guys. I think that's it. I don't have anything else on the agenda. Like I said, like my partner said, please come check us out on Saturday mornings on the New Blurred Order, 10 a.m. every Saturday morning, where you can get more content regarding House of the Dragon, Rings of Power, and much, much more. So tune in this Saturday. But on behalf of myself, Tyrone Thornhill, Holly Noon, Mini Baby Grogu, and our special guest, Nolly, we are the Multiverse. And until next week, guys, peace.